Today we're going to talk about how to complete a timesheet. Each timesheet will need to be completed each day, and each morning when you come into the office there will be a timesheet for that day set up on your satchel. There will be spare timesheets in your satchel for if you need to go straight to a job and don't come into the office, or on weekends if you need more than one timesheet. The important parts on this timesheet, which is a blank one, is the tradesman name, apprentice or second person's name, the day of the week, the date, and the codes for time spent off-site, which will be entered into this section, which I'll explain later. To complete a timesheet, you will need some other supporting documentation. There will be the job sheet, specifically the incident number, which will be given to you either by the customer service representative when they dispatch you to the job, or from the job sheet if you have a copy of it. Also the tax invoice number that you will select to use for that particular job, and they're available from your satchels. If you're returning to a job that you've been to previously, you will use what is known as a tear-off sheet, and that's another document that you would need to mention in your timesheet. We'll now go on to filling in of a timesheet. We actually have the tradesman's name written down, the second person that is working with them, whether they're another tradesman or apprentice, and their name should be in brackets so we know that they're the secondary person. The day of the week and the date. The day of the week is important to fill in so that we can cross-reference it in case you write the date incorrectly. When you go to complete a timesheet, normally you'll be starting either from the office, or in this particular instance, being a Wednesday, it was a meeting. So we have used the code, which I'll go through at the end of this timesheet. So 7 o'clock in the morning is the time that the meeting started, so that's the arrival time, finished at 7:50. From there you were dispatched to your first job, which we have taken the number off the job sheet and transcribed it onto the timesheet. And also from there we've taken the invoice number that you selected to use for that job and put that in. Had the time that you've left the office, time you arrived on site, which is then texted through to the office as your dispatch time, and the time that you've completed the job. From there you've gone to your next job, which once again you've got the incident number either from the CSR or from the job sheet. In this instant it was a return job, so a tear-off was used, so you write tear-off instead of invoice number. The travel time from the previous job, the arrival time, the completion time. We then went to lunch, so that's been recorded. Went to a supplier to pick up some parts, then on to the next job, and just carry on like that to the end of the day. If we look down at the codes down the bottom, we have a D for waiting dispatch, F for fueling, L for lunch, M for meeting, OS for office workshop, P for parts, SB for standby, T for training, and U for U down. Common problems that we find with completion of timesheets is that people only enter the date and not the day, which we need, as previously said, to cross-reference. Don't write a second person's name in when they've had them working. The customer's name is used instead of the job number or the address, and that makes it more difficult in the office to try and work out what job it is. Invoice number is not entered. The gaps are left when filling out the times, and times that do not run consecutively.